Today I get to interview April. Oh my gosh, I love you. I got to spend some quality time with you in Hawaii. You so precious. I love you so much. Yes,
Thank
yes.
you. It's a pleasure
Okay,
that you asked me.
of course, I love you. All right, so my first, what made you get started using more plant-based products? Like just going down a more holistic route. What made you go there?
I was actually looking for pulmonary support from my mom because her medication was not working and her doctor would not change her medicine. And with the breathing problems that she has had all her life, I knew that if she were to get really bad sick and it were to attack her lungs, that I knew she'd be into some trouble. So with no change of medicine, I knew there was a way to control what she was going through. So I had actually seen one of my leaders on a Facebook group actually promote wellness through plants. And I reached out and I said, please tell me more because my mom needs help. That was where I went to.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Wow. And how is she doing? How did she do with it?
Absolutely amazing. I actually bought first a couple of oils and I was told the protocol to use, the diffuser, and on the bottom of her feet, which I questioned. I was like, really? Okay. So I did what I was told to do. And my mom actually called me the next morning crying and said that was the first time in months that she had not woken up having coughing spasms. That's the first really good night's sleep she's had in a long time. So I called my friend back and I said, tell me more about them and let's get started. Because mom, that's amazing for a mom not to have to be up all night long because the medication she took actually upped her adrenaline. And she was up all night long and would sleep all day. And we all know that is not a good pattern for an older person to be in at all.
Oh my gosh, isn't that crazy? So we were in Colorado and you know the air is really thin there. So we met a guy and he was diagnosed with COPD. His doctor kept telling him if your oxygen levels keep going down, you honestly have to move to a different state because your lungs and the way you're going, you cannot live in this air. Okay. So I was like, really like extreme, right? So we gave him, an oil and I was like, hey, listen, I've heard great stories about Raven. Just rub it on your chest, put it in the diffuser. Within days, he was like, I've never woken up and been able to take a deep breath. He said, I
Yes.
wake up and my lungs are real tight and I started hacking my head off and it takes me a long time to just get up. And then he started going, then we were a couple weeks later and he goes, I have energy. He goes, I'm not exhausted. I said, because your body has oxygen. Is that not crazy? And the thing is, if you have something wrong with your lungs, you'll start to see organs fail slowly because they do not have oxygen in them. And then that's the progression of that disease, So I love that your mom was able to see success. I love that this gentleman was able to see success. And again, it's something as simple as rubbing oil on your feet and your chest, right? And we're like, okay, crazy. And then it works. And you're like, all right, I guess that's that. All right. So now that, you've gotten these oils in your house, what was that one product for you personally that you were like, wow, this stuff really works?
I started with sleep oils because I had battled with a lot of sleeplessness, insomnia. My brain just doesn't shut off. And I had done the medications. I had done the other more natural, I guess, medications. And it just wasn't working. I get a little here, but your body gets immune to it. So then I'd start back and then I detox from it. And for me personally, I just needed rest because your body heals when it's resting, and it would make me physically ill if I did not get enough sleep, and it would be like a trickle down effect. I'd have to take a nap, then I wouldn't sleep at night, and it was just awful. So I started using starter kit oils first and then adding a little bit here, researching what could help calm the brain, and I actually came to, and it took me a good 6 months, about 10 oils that I have to use every single night. But I thank the Lord for those oils every single night on the bottom of my feet, tops of my toes, one drop in my diffuser every single night, and I can literally start to relax when it's time to do so. And I don't have sleeplessness. I sleep honestly like a baby all the time.
That is amazing. Well, you have 10 oils. I have one rollerball that I can't live without for sleep support, and that's Rudavella. So I
Yes.
stink, and you are just over here oiling your whole body, and I love it. All right. So now, what made you choose Young Living and continue to choose Young Living?
Well, before I reached out to my friend and asked about the oils for my mom, I had done research. I did research on on sites that I knew had real and live and good testimonies where I could go and check, is this really real, or are you just trying to sell me something? Third parties. And as I did the research, I actually brought it down to about 2 or 3 companies. And then as I got into more and more scientific, PubMed, Oli testimonies, Young Living popped up, Young Living popped up. And then as I did more research on the company, the seed to seal, and I went and researched what that actually meant. And I was like, okay, if they have a vitality line and it had just come out when I became a member and I'm going to be ingesting, it's only going to be the best because my mom and my children would be as well.
That's amazing. Yes, the best is, and that's what, whenever I talk with people, I'm like, you really get what you pay for. I can go get a 99-cent cheeseburger from McDonald's, or I could go to, like, let's even just say Five Guys, right? It's definitely a step above, right? Am I paying $9 for a burger? Yes. But am I getting a juicy, big, like, quality burger? Absolutely, right? So similar kind of thing, just like, sometimes people use like dollar store shampoo, or they'll pay top dollar for something at a hair salon. Again, what kind of quality do you want on your body and in your body? And if you're making a better choice in your health, why skimp on that? So I totally agree with what you're saying. And I'm so excited that you touched on that point because it's so true. All right, so now oils are in your house. Now we usually somehow have some pushback from husbands. What was the oil that made your husband stop thinking you were crazy? Right? When he was like, this stuff works.
Right? Actually, he was doing some work around the gym and he was up on a step ladder and he fell and he hurt his knee really bad, and he is not going to go see anybody about it. I'll be okay. So he got in bed and it was swollen and irritated, and I knew what was wrong with it. So I said, hey, I've got 1 or 2 of these oils and I got this Coolazole cream. I said, can I put this on you just to see if it works? If it doesn't, no big deal. It's not, you're still in the same place where you were 30 minutes ago. Literally rolled on 2 oils, Panaway Peppermint and the Coolazole pain cream. And within 5 minutes, he's like, I hate to even tell you this, but my knee is not even hurting. And I'm like, I knew it was going to work.
Oh, you love it. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Ever since then, we've got the Shutron soap. He's got the men's line. He's like, hey, my head doesn't feel very well. Where's that oil again? Tell me what to do. Literally. And when people come to the gym and I tell them, my elbow hurts, my shoulder hurts from lifting, he's like, April's got an oil for that. Let me call her right now.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah, see, it's a little bit of a blessing and a curse when your spouse gets on board with you, because you got to up their order, right? Because Shane's now, he's like, I want my own account. I want my own oils. You always have the tummy oil when I need the tummy oil. And I'm like, oh my gosh, let's get your own oil and please leave me alone.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right. So now I know that you've helped a lot of people get started with Young Living, but what is one of your favorite testimonies of someone that you've helped to just choose better options in their health?
I think it was someone close to me. It was one of my daughter's really good friends, and they were battling with PTSD from being overseas in the Iraq area. And I knew what they would have done for me for emotional support. So as I layered and loved and roller bottles and sent, they called and confirmed this has been a complete blessing. My life has completely changed, and I can deal a whole lot better in crowds and around loud sounds and that kind of stuff too. And they know if they're going to be in that environment, they'll go ahead and pre-roll and pre-oil, and it's made a huge difference in their emotional and their mental support. Huge, huge support. And that meant a
Oh
lot,
my God,
what they do.
amazing. Yes, I've been working with a friend to try and volunteer at veterans hospitals and some just vet programs to bring in aroma freedom technique to help them with PTSD, because it is amazing what aromatherapy can do to the brain to help release some of those traumas and calm them down. And there are MRI scans that are actually showing that what we do physically changes the brain, right? Which
Yes,
blows my mind. I
absolutely.
love stuff like that. And I love that you have such a heart to just help people. And I've seen so many people that you've helped, and I've seen their lives change, and you're such a blessing. And it's incredible to me that just, being on this earth and feeling sometimes so small, but you are leaving such an impact and such a legacy in people's lives and their families that I'm grateful to call you a friend, and I know that they are. So thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you, Tammy. You're a blessing in my life as well.
All right, girl. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tammy. Bye.